Howdy ho! It's time for some pickups! Yeah! Hey guys, time again for another Willie's Ramblins and Pickup video. We're coming up on the July 4th holiday, so awesome! Well, what I've been doing the past few weeks since the last time I made a Rambling and Pickup video. I've been all over the country yet again. I visited my buddy's store out in Maryville, Tennessee, Retro Artifacts. Saw some cool things out there. I actually got some show donations from my buddy out there. Some cool stuff here he gave me. I also visited a really awesome toy store up in, I think it's north of Providence, Rhode Island. I think it's around Attleboro, Massachusetts. It's called the Toy Vault. The Toy Vault. Pretty neat little store. It has some retro games in there. Fairly nice selection of stuff. Everything from Odyssey 2 on up to more modern stuff. I did see a couple Odyssey 2 games in there. That's why I said that. They also have a nice selection of some really cool retro toys as well, like Voltron, G.I. Joe, Transformers, a number of different cool toys up there. A lot of vintage Star Wars items. Pretty nice collection of Star Wars items for sale at this store. I actually picked up a couple things, which I'll show here in a second, for my collection from the 70s, from the Ketter line. See, where else have I been? Oh! Also went to a pinball expo this week while I was up in Massachusetts. I was only able to go Thursday night, but it looked like it was going to be a really great show. I went up there with my buddy RK from the Toy Tune podcast to the Pintastic Pinball Expo. It was going on Thursday through this Sunday. I think it's Thursday, June 29th or 28th through July 1st, I think. Anyway, it's still going on as I'm making this video. I wish I could have stayed longer because it looked like there's going to be a lot of cool stuff to see. They had a really big vendor area there. They had a flea market that was outside. Had a number of things. Saw a lot of cool pinball tables. Unfortunately, when I was there, some of the pinball tables I wanted to play wasn't even set up yet, like the Superman by Atari. I've been wanting to play that pinball for quite some time. They had the Batman 66 pinball there. That was freaking awesome. That pinball is really, really cool. Has tons of little gadgets and stuff on the playfield. It's a very interactive pinball game, especially with a little TV screen where you can see the classic scenes from the Batman 66 series flashing up there. And every once in a while you get the bat signal to light up. It projects up on the screen above the pinball machine, which is pretty awesome. I tried a few times to play the game, but unfortunately there was like a group of like 5 people. I think 3 of them were owners of pinball machines there because they had little tags on there as being part of the show. And they were just kind of monopolizing that machine. Really couldn't get in to play it, which was unfortunate. I did find a pinball game there that quickly became another one of my favorites. There was no Medieval Madness, but they had Vegas, which was a Gottlieb game from the 90s. And even though it's a very simplistic pinball game, it was made... Gottlieb tried this type of pinball game to make pinball tables cheaper to build. They didn't have a whole lot of toys and little gadgets on the playfield. It was basically just one level. But it had some neat concepts, like it had a slot machine hole, where the slot machine would work up on the screen. Had like a roulette wheel thing. Had like a blackjack thing you could play by hitting these different bumpers to make the different things come up to play blackjack. It's really cool. What really drew me to the machine was the lights. It has some really nice looking purple glowing lights. It was a very good looking machine. I really enjoyed playing that thing. So it's definitely on my list, along with Medieval Madness, Haunted House, and a few other pinball games I really enjoy. So let's get to some of the pickups. First off, I got a hold of this side, an Othello game by Gabriel. This is from the, I want to say the 80s, early 80s. It's an LCD game, which I typically don't pick up to collect. But I had one of these, and I absolutely loved it. So I'm pretty happy to get a hold of this. I'll be doing a video on this for the Toy Tube sometime in the near future. And of course, my buddy Rick from the Intellivisionaries, he picked me up Hover Bubber for the Intellivision. This is a really fun game on the Commodore 64, but he got this for me from the Intellivision, so I'm looking forward to trying this game out, and I'll be doing a play video on it as well. Thanks a lot, Rick, for that. I really appreciate it. And of course, this past Friday, the NES Classic released again, so I actually got one for a change with an extra controller. And I've been seeing these things all over the place, so they're readily available. Don't pay scalper prices for this thing now. The Target I saw today when I was out shopping had like 20 of these things on the shelf, and a ton of these little joystick thingies too. Best Buy had like 8 or 9 of them on the shelf, so they're everywhere. So if you want one of these now, they're available. And of course, I'd pick up a controller for my buddy Jimbo. Let's see, what else we got here? Well, here's a show donation from my buddy from Retro Artifacts. He sent me this Radio Shack pinball game, and it's called Air Pinball. Doesn't have a ball in it. It has like a little flat disc. Where's it at? Right over there. And it has all these little tiny holes in the playfield. So it's like air hockey. The disc will float. And you play it like a pinball game. Pretty awesome. So I'll be taking a video of this and taking it back to his store so he can sell it. Pretty cool. Of course, on the Toy Tune podcast, I briefly mentioned these little cube games here. These were called Nervous Breakdown. These are from the 70s. I had one of these. Matter of fact, this is the one I had. Not this one, but I had this particular game back then. And you have a little mirror that you have to look. You can see the balls moving around in there. And you had to get a certain number of balls in certain lines and stuff. It made it kind of hard because the mirror would reverse the actions of the little balls inside. Pretty cool. I love this thing, so I was pretty happy to find this so I can make a Toy Tune video about it. And of course, I picked up at the Toy Vault the Kenner die-cast X-Wing. Pretty awesome to go with my Imperial TIE Fighter and my Imperial Destroyer and my Millennium Falcon. And I also picked up Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, the die-cast, when I had this one back then when I was a kid. Pretty happy to add those to my collection. Oh! I picked up a new Tomy Pocket game. I picked up the Tomy Pocket Baseball. Had this when I was a kid too. I love these little Pocketeer games. We're doing a video on that in the near future. Also found a 50th anniversary Hot Wheels Beetle, little purple Beetle. I don't collect Hot Wheels cars, but I like this little purple Beetle. I don't know what it is about it, I just liked it. So I decided to pick it up to hang on my wall. That was kind of cool. Also got one of these little world's smallest Mattel football games. A little keychain football game. I thought it'd be a kind of little fun video to make of one of those. Got a little Tomy game. It's a Starcade. This was called Going Ape by Tomy. It's a little action game. You wind up a little guy underneath there, and you try to get the monkey to catch those little balls as you flip up in the air. The monkey will swing back and forth on the tree. I think that'll be a fun video to make as well. I had one of these as a kid too. Fun little games. Fun little mechanical games. Also picked up, I live in Pepsi country, so I had to pick up a little Pepsi tractor trailer from Concord. That's kind of cool. It's pretty neat. Now, I participated in the Genesis Gems Retro Junk Box recently, and I got a couple good things out of it. These are both for the PC. I got hold of Dark Forces, which I played the living daylights out of this game on my PC when it first came out. And also picked up Rogue Squadron 3D. I love Rogue Squadron on the N64. The PC version is really good too. I don't know if it's going to run on my PC, but I'll give it a try. Plus, I went ahead and took out this little Superman balanced little doohickey guy. It was some kind of giveaway at Burger King or something like that. I like Superman, so I thought that was kind of cool. Also picked up a couple Sizzlers. Got this nice little red Sizzler here, Hot Wheels Sizzler. Had to put a new battery in it, do a little bit of restore work to it, but now it runs perfectly fine. So, I'll be doing a video on these little Sizzlers sometime in the near future since I've got the racetrack for them now. And I picked up one of my favorite cars from the Sizzlers line. This is the 70 Plymouth Cuda. I love that yellow Cuda. That is a good looking Sizzlers car. So I'll be racing these on that big old racetrack when I do the Sizzlers episode. Awesome. When I was out in Maryville, Tennessee, I visited my buddy's video game store out there, the Looney Bin. If you're ever in the Knoxville area, go down to Maryville, visit the Looney Bin. It's a great store. Picked me up a copy of Miner 2049er for the Atari 2600. Also got the manual too with it, which was pretty cool. Awesome. Got the manual. Also got some Starpath Arcadia cassettes for the 2600 for the Supercharger. Got a hold of Mindmaster. What's this one? Fireball, which Ferg just did an episode on that for the 2600 podcast. Suicide Mission. Pretty cool. And one of my favorites, Communist Mutants from Space. Ah, I like that game. It's awful. It's also cool. It's so cool. And of course, you know, I got the manuals for all the games as well. So that's pretty cool. Plus a little catalog of all the Supercharger games. Pretty neat. My buddy Arcade, when I was visiting him this week, he gave me this little 3D printed Pac-Man pill box to put your pills in. So that mouth actually moves. It's like waka 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 waka. That's pretty cool. Also got a hold of Mattel Electronics Dungeons and Dragons tabletop game. I love this game back when it came out. I had to do a little bit of repair work on this one. I had a bad connector that fastened the playfield board. It has like a little touch board on here to the main control board, and I had to put a new one on there. But now I got it working fine, so I'll be making a video on this with my wife as we play it. So I'm looking forward to playing this once again. We got a room to stack stuff over here. Also picked up, this is still sealed. Hasn't been opened. A Ideal game, Breaking Point. I loved this game back when it first came out. And the whole idea of the game is you have these little balls that sit on top of these, and you got to try to keep stacking them on there and see how many you can get on there before they break through. So each player puts one on. So if it breaks through when you put one on, you lose. Really great game. Ideal had some really cool games, you know, like this and Rebound, which I've got a Rebound too, which I'll be making a video on. So this will be a future Toy Tune video. And then I had another show donation from my buddy Steven, who does the ColecoVision. I forgot the name of his website. If you want to know anything about the ColecoVision, you can go to this website. He has all kinds of ROMs and info and lists, and it's really great. I think it's like ColecoVision Friends. I don't remember. I'm sorry, Steven. I don't remember. I'll put a link down in the show notes to his ColecoVision website, so you guys go check it out for yourself. I'm such a bad Willie. I can't remember stuff half the time. I think my brain's going. Anyway, he donated some Tiger LCD games to me, which I really don't collect the Tiger stuff. But it was kind of nice he sent these to me. He sent me a Simon's Quest. Well, I really appreciate that. Electronic Baseball. Nice little LCD game there. Ninja Fighter. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah. Miniature Golf. I think Ferg might like that one. And of course, Double Dragon. Awesome, Stephen. I really appreciate it. They all work fine. Really appreciate that. Now, I got something really, really awesome given to me this week. And I'm really excited about having this. Now, it's not an original. It's an official DC Comics redo of the original comic book that came out. Even has its own little certificate of authenticity from DC as well. Right there, signed by the president and all that good stuff. Pretty cool. And what they did is they hired a really cool comic book artist, and he actually redrew a lot of this comic. And they put it out in a limited run. And it's one of the comic books that I've always loved. And I've always wanted one. I know I could never get an actual one, but this is just as fine. This is just as good for me. And it is an Action Comics #1. Yeah. Now, it's not an original. No. It is a reprint, but it's a very accurate reprint. It has all the original stuff inside. It even has the original toy ads and stuff on here. This thing is incredible. I am so happy to get this. I was ecstatic when this was given to me. I dig that artwork from back then. That is so cool. So yeah, very happy to have this, and thanks a lot, dude, for giving this to me. I really appreciate it. All right. So that's all the pickups for this week. There was quite a few. I hope all you out there have a very safe and happy July 4th, and I'll see you again sometime in the near future. Thanks for watching.